I'm Elizabeth Shanahan-Jewett, and this is Local Matters. I hope this week has been good to you. Let's talk about what's happening in our area. It's summer festival season, and our furry family members have one planned just for them. The Plymouth Area Chamber of Commerce invites you and your well-behaved canine to Nelson Park on September 18th for Plymouth Bark in the Park. Running from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., this fun-filled festival will feature a Plymouth County Sheriff canine demonstration, blessing of the dogs, food, a beer garden for humans, and live entertainment for the whole family. There'll be dog-related vendors and paw readings available. We have thousands of dogs in our community, and this festival open to the public is a great day and way to celebrate them. Visit the Plymouth Area Chamber of Commerce website to learn more. Quincy College was established in 1958 to meet the demand for accessible higher education on the South Shore. And while the name says Quincy, the Plymouth campus, established in 1991 at Cordage Park, has given a college head start to thousands of local students. To gain some insight into the importance of community colleges in general, and Quincy College in particular, Julie Thompson spoke with Quincy College President Richard DeCristofaro.
Rick, thank you so much for joining us today. Pleasure to have you. Can we delve right into your personal background and how you ended up as the president of Quincy College?
Sure. It's great to be here, and thank you for having me on. I started my career as a teacher in the Quincy Public Schools, and went on to teach and be assistant principal at a couple of buildings, and then a principal, and then on to assistant superintendent. So I was superintendent in Quincy Public Schools for about 20 years, which was wonderful, great experience. So it was somewhat of a natural segue that I apply to be the president. I live in Quincy, so really it takes me at least 5 minutes to get to work. That was a really good thing. But it was really a challenge. You know, there's so many opportunities and so many challenges. So that's really why I decided to come over and interview for this great job.
And you got it and you love it.
I really do. You're absolutely correct.
Okay, great. So what makes your school unique? There's a lot of colleges people can pick from. What is unique about Quincy?
I think it's our mission. I think the mission, the open access to college, that we really have the mission of helping each and every student one at a time. And I think it's that personal touch, that personal connection, whether it's admissions, advising, and on to our faculty. I think our faculty really gets involved with our students above and beyond the classroom to be able to help them in any way. So that's why, and that's why we meet with so much success with our students as well.
Are your classes of smaller size than a traditional college or university?
Absolutely, they are. We can't go too small, but I think, there are classes beginning really at 7 students, and going up to, we may have some classes in liberal arts that may be 24 or 25. But again, that the faculty knows their audience, and whether you're teaching 7 or 10 students, you're still, as focused as you would be if you had 23 or 24 or 25.
Right. Why is having a community college so important in a place like Plymouth?
Well, the interesting thing is that we're not a community college. We're really a municipal college, the only one in the country. We don't get state funding like other community colleges do, the other 15 community colleges. So we depend only on enrollment. That drives the bus. So that's really the significant difference between us and a community college.
Oh, okay.
But the reason why the connection with Quincy College in Plymouth and at Cordage Park, is really because there are so many students, in that area, not only Plymouth Public Schools, but other areas, that need something to go on if they're not going to a 4-year college, or they're not really thinking about a 2-year. We make sure that there's a place for all of those students, number one. And number two, the amount of opportunity that we have, it really fits into the greater Plymouth area. We had a symposium, we had 2 symposiums with our leadership team to talk about, what drives the bus in regard to our coursework at Plymouth. And that's why we've come up with working so much with the health sciences. and making sure that we're covering as many bases as possible. Because when you look at the Plymouth demographics, and where the senior demographic is going, we can deal with students coming out of high school. Our average age is probably about 27, 28 at the college at Cottage Park. So it's seniors that come to us. It's the middle of the road, people, as well as the students. So we try to fit all of our programs to the demographics in Plymouth. And I think when you look at Plymouth and you look at the breakdown, of the demographics of the town, take for instance veterans. So we know that the veterans program, we need to offer a lot of veterans programs and outreach to veterans organizations as well in Plymouth. So that's a small example, but I think the more you break it down, the more we can have the courses with data and industry data to fit what Plymouth needs.
Great. So you talked about a couple things there. That was packed. That was a packed paragraph of information there. Healthcare and how I know you have a new pharmacy tech classroom. I saw a couple pictures that you have fake cadavers that people can work on. So you're really doing a lot in the medical field. Question about certificates versus a degree versus a 4-year degree. Can you just kind of break that down? What is offered now and what might be offered in the future?
Sure. Certificates are much shorter term. And at times there are certain programs that are certificate. Let me give you an example. We have a phlebotomy program, all right, that we're actually bringing to Plymouth that was never there, but we're bringing to Plymouth in the spring. You have a phlebotomy certificate, which is about 9 credits, 10 credits, and then you have a phlebotomy associates, which brings in, it's a wider depth of work. So a lot more hours of work and more marketable, to a hospital or to any place that uses phlebotomists. So
and that's people that take your blood, just for anyone who doesn't know what a phlebotomist is?
Yes.
Right, okay,
exactly. Yeah. So, that's really the difference. The certificates are shorter term and still may have a return of investment that is pretty high, The longer you go, is more the associate's degree.
Sure.
And then the employers may be looking far more to an associate's degree person than the certificate.
Person. What about a 4-year program? Are you going to have not a master's, but a liberal arts or a 4-year degree program in any of these?
Right now, I'm sorry I interrupted. Right now, we're looking at baccalaureate in business. It's really business management, that deals with accounting and computer science and all that. So there's we should have started in September, but because of regulatory, people were waiting for the Board of Higher Education to have a meeting. When they have the meeting, they'll okay it, and then we can advertise it. So we're not able to share that baccalaureate program. But as soon as they have that meeting, and if their meeting's over at 9:30 at night, 9:31, we're advertising. So we'll have that baccalaureate. So the baccalaureate will begin in business, and that will also be in Plymouth as well. Plymouth residents and students will be able to take part in that. And as soon as we get that going and we have a real successful model in business, we'll start with computer science. That's our next baccalaureate. So the difference between a community college and Quincy College is that we have that adeptness to go on to a baccalaureate, where community colleges are 2 years. So we're hoping that we we work with the community colleges to advertise with them. So when they're done with their 2-year students and they graduate, they come to us of a 4-year. And that'll benefit Plymouth, I think, very, very much.
So a bachelor's degree in computer science or business management, do you want to then, you have degree programs, the associate degree programs in a lot of different subjects. Are you going to slowly, like an RN, if I want to be an RN, are you going to slowly bring them in for other subjects also, bachelor's programs?
Would love to do that. Would love to do that. And I think that because of the regulatory nature of the state, that we need to go slow because we need to have approvals as we go. And plus, for our RN program, our PN program, and for these other programs. You need to have places for our students to do experiences in business. Like for business, we need to create partners. And that's what we're doing at Cottage Park, creating an advisory group of medical, to make sure that we have places for our students to intern, to do practicum. So we're making sure that business partnership is solid. Joe Giannetti is the owner of Cottage Park, and he's helping us out with that.
Sure. And mentioning Cottage Park, what a unique campus for people to be able to go to. What kind of a feedback have you gotten from your students being able to look out onto the ocean?
No, they love that. They love that, and it's just a great. You walk in, it's so unique. First of all, the building is so unique that it's got tremendous character, and I think that actually feeds into our students' education and our faculty's commitment down there to teach in such a unique place. So, no, we're very, very happy.
And finally, how has the pandemic affected Quincy College, and how will it affect, and how have you had to kind of pivot?
Yeah, our enrollment, took a hit with COVID, and I think that we're building back up, and that's the reason why, I think it's so important that we go the healthcare route and really kind of increase those offerings, because I think that's where I think the enrollment is. That's where I think Plymouth, the greater Plymouth area, the industry needs, the data tells us, that's where we should go. And I just think it offers a tremendous opportunity. So the enrollment, is something that we deal with here in Quincy, as well as Plymouth, and we're working so hard to get our enrollment back again.
Right.
So we're trying different things, but I think that that healthcare in Plymouth is the way to go. We have the RN program, we have, and the PN program didn't really run, and I really wonder that it's just our marketing, and we need to better market. So we hired a marketing strategist to see, okay, what do we need not only in Plymouth and Quincy. So I think the healthcare additions, we had the home health aide, we had the certified nurse associate, that's also something we're adding down there. The HiSET program, in the HiSET program, we have a nice little grant with United Way of Greater Plymouth. And we're adding again, CNA the paramedic education.
Yeah. A lot of medical related. I noticed that a tremendous amount of medical related. And my last question to you is workforce development. You hear about this all the time. These are people that are looking 5-10 years down the road and saying, what are the skill sets that are going to be needed for the jobs of the future? How much does that play into your long-term curriculum plans?
No, it plays a very strong role in the college, because when you look at enrollment, and if your enrollment is down, which means your revenue is down, now you have to work with the workforce development and reach out as much as possible to industry. That's where the pharmacy tech program that you mentioned, that's where that came from. It's in Quincy, it's in Plymouth, but it's a natural industry base, and we should really increase our enrollment. That's a workforce development program.
Right.
And then also working with Frontrunner. Frontrunner is down in Cottage Park. It's somewhat of it's been around for a while. So we go in and we train their employees. So that's the discussion now. So that's the workforce development piece. We get funds to train, and those funds come into the college. So the other thing with workforce development is we have contracts with the Department of Education. So we can work with, say, the Plymouth Public Schools, like we did with Quincy Public Schools this summer, and do online courses, because those teachers need professional development points.
Exactly.
So workforce development can be a contract with the state. We can plug into some of the hotels there and work with hospitality management.
Sure.
Things that. So workforce development is connections from the college to industry and the workforce.
Right, so exactly.
It's important to us, very important to us.
Okay, excellent. Well, we've learned a lot about Quincy College and you. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll have you back again maybe in a while to find out how it's all going. I'm here and available anytime, and I appreciate you talking with me today. Thank you so much, Rick. Good to have you. All right.
Thank you, Julie and President DeCristofaro. To show you how adaptive Quincy College and their president is, you may have noticed some audio disturbances. Here's what happened behind the scenes.
Retirement, place. Now, is that not true? You want to stop me there?
No. I'm just hearing a lot of banging in the background there.
So sorry. They're on my roof.
Oh, they're on your roof. Oh, okay. Well, that's now that we know. I hope they don't crash down on you.
You want to see them? You want to see the camera? I'll put the camera up there. Watch this. Ready?
No, I believe you.
Can you see them now?
They literally are on your roof.
That's amazing.
That's a riot.
Keep that in the shot.
Yeah, we'll keep this. This is good. This shows this is what you're dealing with, Rick, and yet you're still doing your interview. Yes.
And you want to interview the guys on the roof?
No, that's okay.
Thank you, Julie and Rick. Learn more about Quincy College and what it has to offer you at quincycollege.edu. Former KGB officer and current president of Russia, Vladimir Putin, is a complex and fascinating character. Is he an environmentalist, corrupt politician, competent strategist, or some or all of the above? On Wednesday, September 15th, from 2 to 3 p.m., the Duxbury Senior Center is offering an in-person class about this inscrutable world leader. Presented by Russian expert Henry Quinlan, this class will examine Putin's policies and actions. Mr. Quinlan has 30 years of experience with the former Soviet Union, including living in Moscow for 5 years during the demise of the USSR and the rise of the new Russia. Visit the Duxbury Senior Center website to register. There is also a virtual Zoom option for this in-person class. Turtles are one of the most primitive groups of reptiles and live in almost every climate, all over the world. Here in New England, we have several species, from tiny musk turtles to our seasonal sea turtle visitors. On September 13th at 6:30 p.m., join the Kingston Public Library and Joy Marzoff from The Joys of Nature to learn about the amazing ways turtles adapt to survive their habitats and how varied turtle shells can be. This hour-long program will take place in person at the Adams Center, across the street from the library. Visit the library's website to sign up for this free event. Regardless of economic position and location, rice is a staple food all over the world. Do you know how it got that way? You will if you stay to watch this all-new In the Know about rice.
Rice. You eat it all the time. Whether it's in your sushi or just in a big bowl covered with butter, this handy grain is the culinary heart of many a culture. But have you ever thought about where it came from? In this installment of In the Know, you're going to learn all about the little bits of grainy stuff, including the history of its cultivation and usage in different parts of the world. So sit back, relax, and get ready to learn some things. Webster's Dictionary defines the word rice as the starchy seeds of an annual Southeast Asian cereal grass that are cooked and used for food. Wait, what's a cereal grass? No, that can't be it. Ah, wait, it's a type of grass that grows kernels on top of the stalk. That makes more sense. There are, of course, many parts of the world that grow rice. We could get into all the places, but we'd be here all day, and really, who has time for that? Let's start with China. Rice goes back to about 10,000 years ago. As the Ice Age began to melt away and transition into the current geological period we know today, a group of hunter-gatherers near China's Yangtze River began changing their way of life. They started growing rice. Eventually, it became domesticated and spread to all parts of Asia. By the time of the Zhou dynasty in 1100 BC, rice had not only become a dietary essential, but it had become an economic staple as well, and has remained that way for centuries. China is currently the world's largest producer of rice, making up 30% of the global rice population. That's a lot of rice. Rice is also woven into the fabric of Chinese culture. At the time of the Qin dynasty in 221 BC, rice was used to brew wines for celebrations and offered as a sacrifice to the gods. Guess that's better than using humans. China still uses rice for important milestones and holidays. For example, rice is a central part of the Chinese Lunar New Year's Eve dinner. Chinese families will make a cake called gao, which is a steamed sponge cake that turns flour into lovely glutinous rice. Families eat these particular cakes in hopes for a better future. Maybe we could all use a little gao in our lives. You may have never thought of Italy as being mysterious, but how rice got to the boot of Europe, well, that is a mystery. There are many ways rice could have arrived in Grand Old Italia. Rice could have been brought by crusaders, or from Middle Eastern travelers in Sicily. Or maybe Venetian merchants brought it back from India. Or it could have been brought by an army of aliens looking to barter for pasta. Just kidding, I made that up. Whatever the case, rice is important to Italy in terms of cuisine and in economy. And Italians were actually pioneers of the rice-making game. Although rice goes way back in this country, the most important period for Italian rice cultivation started in the 19th century, when the farmers of the province of Vercelli came together to open one of the most effective irrigation systems in history. They built a well, which flooded the fields to protect crops from extreme temperature changes between day and night. It was a ton of work, but don't worry, they got a canal later. Go Vercelli! Today, Italy is the largest producer of rice in all of Europe. Italy produces around 1.3 million tons of rice each year, 53% of which are exported to other European countries. The regions of Lombardy and Piedmont are known as Italy's rice bowl. The most popular delicacy is a little rice dish you might know and love, risotto, which is part of Italy's national heritage, a significant product in the Italian economy. Risotto usually is preferred as the first course over pasta. In Venice and Veneto, risotto with sautéed eels is served as a traditional Christmas meal. In hearing all about how rice got to other countries, you may be asking yourself how it got here in the US of A. Well, like many things in life, it happened by complete accident. In 1685, a ship was heading to Madagascar. Where was the ship from? No idea. But it had just undergone some trauma from a storm and hobbled itself into Charlestown Harbor, located into what was known as the Carolina Colony. Being the gracious folks they were, the colonists took the ship's crew in and even helped them repair their ship. To repay them for their kindness and hospitality, the crew gave a local planter a small amount of golden seed rice. Quickly, the colonists realized the marshlands and rivers in the Carolinas and in Georgia were perfect spots for growing this new and multi-talented crop. By the 1720s, the area produced 4,500 tons of rice. And when America finally gained independence from those silly Brits, rice became one of the major agricultural businesses and fueled the economy of a new nation. From its humble beginnings in the Carolinas, rice has become a major agricultural product in the US. Nearly 90% of the rice consumed here is actually produced here. And it's not only used for our food, but it's also used for brewing beer, making pet food, and of course the occasional snap, I dropped my phone in the toilet incident. Don't worry, we've all been there. So the takeaway, rice is important to humans. Not only is it extremely versatile, but it also helps sustain 2/3 of the world's population. And it's also a part of all of our cultures. I mean, what would you throw at weddings if rice didn't exist? Beef jerky? Ew, gross. So the next time you venture down the rice aisle at your local grocery store, think about the people, places, and events that made this multifaceted grain what it is today. For more In the Knows and other amazing content, like and follow the local scene on Facebook, Insta, and Twitter. This has been In the Know, all about rice. Now you're in the know.
Veterans have a unique bond and connection, and the Pembroke Council on Aging invites all who have served for a monthly Veterans Coffee Hour. This month, on September 14th at 9 a.m., Coffee Hour will feature the Pembroke Town Veterans Department, who will be there to answer any questions you may have. Or just come to enjoy coffee, some goodies, and good conversation with other veterans. Call 781-294-8220 to sign up and talk to the Council's new outreach coordinator, Marie Vitale. Buzzards Bay Park, just a short drive away, is the setting for this year's Cape Cod Canal Day, a family-friendly festival with live music, craft vendors, a cornhole contest, children's activities, a 5K road race, and train rides on the Cape Cod Central Railroad. Taking place on September 18th, this is a great way to close out the summer. Visit the Cape Cod Canal Day Facebook page to learn more. The local scene team took PopuPACTV to the Spire Center and a recent Plymouth Public Library's lawn concert, inviting residents and visitors to step up to the mic. Check it out.
Hi, this is Tiff from PACTV's The Local Scene. I'm here with my friend Max outside of the Spire Center and next to the PACTV Scallop Shell. I'm here with Max and Erica at Plymouth Public Library's Summer Long Concert Series to see what people have to say about, well, everything. Let's see what these folks have to say. Kelsey, can you tell us what it's been like now that restrictions have been lifted and you guys can have events like this?
It's been great. I mean, this is what we look forward to the most. We look forward to having people and getting people together and bringing things that they'll enjoy. So it's been fantastic.
Weston, how's your summer going?
Fine.
What did you do this summer?
We went to T-ball.
Ooh, what do you like about T-ball?
Go Blue Jay.
What do you like about T-ball?
Go Blue Jay.
Go Blue Jays, nice. So what else have you been doing this summer?
Going to playground.
You went where?
I'm getting a robot.
You're getting a robot? What? What kind of robot?
Name is name is programming robot.
Have you always wanted a robot?
I have lots of robots.
You have lots of robots?
Yeah.
How many?
5.
Wow. So what do you want to be when you grow up? A robot? So what does it feel like to be back at these kind of events now where the crowd's a little bigger,
Yeah, it's
you
awesome.
can, shake somebody's hand?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I used to do, when I say used to, it just depends on the group and the crowd, but there were times where I would end a show like this and I'd have the band continue to play, and I would say I'm going to high five everybody or say goodbye to everybody here. And there'd be like 100 people, 200 people, 300 people, and I literally would sprint around and high five people that are sitting on the rocks or sitting on shit. Yeah. So this is incredible, just to, whether you're playing to 5 people or 5,000 people, that's what I was saying to you before. I never phoned it in, ever. Like I've played to very, very small audiences, and then we've played to thousands, and you can't, if it's in your heart, it's in your heart. And my guitar player Van, he and I met in Nashville in 1998 when we both were living down there, and we always said that when you're not playing, you feel like you're dead. I mean, I know it's maybe a little bit dramatic, but you feel like that because you're not doing what you feel like you're, what you're meant to do.
Neil, we're outside the Spire Center, so I guess it's only fitting for us to talk about the Spire Center. Can you give us a little bit of information? You're on the board, right?
Yes, I am. And I've lived in Plymouth, at least summered, most of my life, and then I have a place downtown here. And now I come down every weekend, and for the last 4 years I've gone to countless shows here at the Spire. I usually watch a little YouTube video of who's coming, and then I go in and it's a $25 or $35 bill. And if it doesn't work for me, I leave. But in all that time, I've never left. Every act has been engaging and fun, and the singer-songwriters are great. When we get tribute bands, they're phenomenal. They do interpretations of the music. They're not impressions, and it's just a great, fun time. So it's just a great venue, a real jewel in the heart of downtown.
Hi, Zoe. How's your summer going?
It's going pretty well. I've been going to a sleepaway camp and been visiting a lot of places with my friends. Going to the beach soon with one of my closest friends.
Now you came here from Virginia, so what have you guys been doing in Plymouth?
Oh, so we just came here a few days ago. Yesterday, since it was raining all day, we were inside. We were binging a show that we really like, Outer Banks, and it's a really good show. You should watch it.
Xavier, how's your summer going?
It's going really well. So this summer I also went to sleepaway camp, and I went on a 2-week trip with my aunt to Italy and Switzerland.
Switzerland, what'd you guys do there?
I met up with some old friend.
That's exciting. And are you excited to be in Plymouth?
Yes, I am.
And anything you hope to do while you're here?
Just wander around and explore.
Okay, Dan, can you talk about what are some of the things you like to do in Plymouth?
As a senior, there's a lot of things I like to do in Plymouth. First of all, the library has plenty of activities, both music and activities on the inside that are there for young and old. We also get involved in the Senior Center, the Council on Aging, or now it's the Center for Active Living. Great programs. They just opened up after the pandemic. They were very active through the pandemic, doing what they do and feeding folks in Plymouth. But they're back and going strong. So visit the Council on Aging, and also take advantage of any of the activities the town offers down in the waterfront. So this is a great place to live. We always tell our friends, don't tell anybody. We don't want any more people moving in. We enjoy it the way it is. So come to Plymouth.
So Coco, what are you looking forward to?
Well, hi, my name is Coco. What I'm looking forward to is seeing my daughter. Today is her 30th birthday. They came down from North Carolina, and we're looking forward to going on a boat ride, having lunch at East Bay Grill, and just having a nice time in Plymouth because this is a historical town, and I love it.
And what do you like about Plymouth?
What I like about Plymouth is that it has a lot of history in it, like she said, and also I like all their stores. It fascinates me, and I like the ocean too, and like the beautiful view in it. And also I'm very happy to be here to celebrate on my mom's birthday.
Can you tell me, what do you love now that like live music is back after the restrictions have been lifted?
Oh my gosh, live music is life. It's everything. It's energy, it's happiness, it's the Larry Stevens Band. It's awesome. It's been such a dry spell, and live music is what keeps people together. It's the heartbeat of life.
Is this the first show you've been to since restrictions have been
Yes.
lifted? It's your first
Yes.
one, so it must feel really good.
It feels amazing, amazing.
That's awesome. So, how do you think the library plays a role in all of this?
Wow, the library is reaching out to people in a very real way. They're bringing the live music back to the community, and I think that's so extremely important. People just don't know what to do with themselves after the pandemic, and it's everything. It means the world.
Make sure you check out Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for upcoming pop-up PACTV events, and make sure to check out our YouTube for more on what's good and what's good to know. From all of us at PACTV's The Local Scene, we thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Tiff. It's so good to see what residents and visitors love about our towns. Children aged 2 to 8 and their caregivers are invited to a concert performed by Elijah T. Grasshopper and Friends on the side lawn of the Duxbury Free Library on Saturday, September 18th. A children's music group featuring Emma, Go-Go Green Bean, and their puppet pals Willa the Worm and Weatherby Frog. This harvest-themed kids show begins at 11 a.m. and will run until noon. Bring a chair or blanket for this interactive show, which will welcome special guest, the Orange Farmer, and her interactive dance song, Something 'Bout a Pumpkin. This show is sponsored in part by a grant from the Duxbury Cultural Council. Visit the Duxbury Free Library website to learn more. Next up, we welcome back storyteller and Magid Jim Brule.
Hi, I'm Magid Jim Brule. I'm a transformational storyteller, and I love to share stories from many different traditions. Today, I have a story about a family. Now, this family was kind of a typical family, a mother, a father, 2 sons. Let's call them Joe and Pete. And they worked this large farm. It was about all they could manage on this farm between the family members. And it was mainly grains that they grew. And what made this an unusual farm is that there was a hill dead center in the center of the property. And so that's where they had built their barn. They didn't have to worry about it being flooded from the rains. And they would carry their wheat up there and whatever other grains they were growing, store it up there before they shipped it out. Now, as I said, this was a typical family, not entirely, but fairly, because the brothers just didn't get along. As young boys, they fought and scrabbled with each other, and nobody thought more of it, but as they got older, they didn't get closer. They got further and further apart. And fortunately, the farmhouse, which was at one end of the property, was large enough to let them kind of live their separate lives. But it just wasn't comfortable. And so Joe decided that it just was not good to live with all this tension. He said, I'm going to move. I'm going to stay with the farm. I'm going to still help, but I'm going to build myself a place at the far edge of the property. And while nobody liked the idea exactly, they did think that it was a good thing to do. So Joe went out and he built his own house and he worked the property from the other side. And Pete, well, Pete decided that he really wanted to have a family. And so he married a woman and they started to raise some kids. And they stayed in the family house. Now, as happens, Joe and Pete's parents passed away. Nothing traumatic, nothing unduly tragic, but they did pass away. And the question was, what would happen to the farm then? And Joe and Pete decided, well, they still both wanted to run the farm, but now they were really entirely separate on the two ends of the farm, and that suited each of them. So they agreed that they would work the farm, but they would split it in half, so that there just was no reason for them to have to interact anymore. And not only did they split the farm in half down the middle, but they even split the barn. They drew a line down the center of the barn. And Joe said, I'll put my crops over here, and you, Pete, you can put yours over there. And that's what they did. And for month after month and year after year, they grew even further apart so that they didn't really ever see each other. Now, it happened one night, and who knows whether it was Joe or Pete first. Let's say it was Joe. Joe said to his wife, you know, we have a good life. We've got our kids, we've got each other, we've got the farm. We make enough to sustain ourselves and to put some aside as well. Poor Pete, there he is on the other side of the farm. He doesn't have anyone. He must lead a very, very lonely life. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go up into the barn and move a little extra grain over to his side. Just because we don't need as much as he does. He's lonely. His wife thought that was a pretty good idea, and so he snuck up in the middle of the night and did that. Now, another night, Pete had a similar thought. Didn't have anyone to talk it over with, but he said, you know, here I am. I only have myself to feed, and I get half of what the farm puts out. My brother, he's got to feed his wife and his family. I don't need all this. I'm going to move some grain to his side of the barn. So he snuck up in the middle of the night and moved some grain over. Well, eventually Joe realized that there was more grain on his side of the barn than on Pete's. And so he went up one night and he moved more and more grain over to Pete's side. It wasn't long before Pete realized that he had a lot more grain on his side, and he started moving some back over to Joe's side and more beyond that. And this went back and forth. And at first they thought they were having a competition about who could do more, but they each wanted to do more for the other. And finally, you know what happened. It had to happen. They were up there. They chose the same night to go up and move the grain. And Joe saw Pete moving grain, and Pete saw Joe moving grain. And they realized that they really did care for each other. In fact, they loved each other. And they embraced. And while Joe and Pete never moved in with each other, you know? Family was good and privacy was good. They did love each other, and it changed their lives. So that's the story. I hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you so much, Jim. And thank you for staying with us for this episode of Local Matters. From all of us at PACTV, have a happy and safe week. We will see you next time. Thank you for watching. We are grateful for your attention. If you like what you saw, please like and subscribe to The Local Scene here and share everywhere. Thank you, friends.